Subsequent to that, you have seen multiple pictures and images of Mr. James VanCallis. Is that correct?
Yes.
And you're still telling this, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, that that is not the individual you saw on the trail, correct?
Yes.
Thank you, ma'am. Have a good afternoon.
Can you say James VanCallis is not the man that you saw?
No.
Thank you. No further questions.
Any else?
No, thank you for the opportunity, Your Honor.
Thank you.
That would be Gail Snell, Your Honor.
Ma'am, do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth?
Yes.
And what's your first name?
Gail. G-A-I-L.
S-P-I-N-E-L-L-A?
Yes.
Have a seat. Speak loud. Thank you.
Okay.
Good afternoon.
Hello.
Would it be okay if I called you Gail?
Yes.
All right, Gail, I'm sure this is a slightly surreal experience now. We are in a courtroom, and the microphone that is that long microphone directly in front of you does amplify. So
Okay.
while you are seated, I would ask you to speak loudly and clearly, and if necessary, use the microphone to amplify your voice. There will be times when I ask you to come down and speak in front of the monitor. Once again, these miscellaneous microphones attempt to do the best they can to pick up the volume, so you need to keep your voice up as loud as possible, all right?
Okay.
Thank you. What city do you live in?
Armada.
How long have you lived in Armada?
33 years plus.
In July of 2014, were you employed?
Yes.
How were you employed?
I am employed through the county.
On July 24th of 2014, were you so employed?
On July, excuse me?
July 14th of 2000, sorry, long day. July 24th of 2014, were you employed by the county?
Yes.
Did you go to work that day?
Yes, I did.
What's your normal working hours?
I roughly work on 9:30 to 4:30.
At the time in Armada, were you living by yourself in July of 2014?
Yes.
Did there come a point in time where Amy came to live with you? Or stay with you, I guess?
She stays with me occasionally. She works in the area, so.
Was she staying with you during that time period of July 24th of 2014?
Yes.
Do you know what I say when I say the Macomb Orchard Trail?
Yes.
Okay. And having been in Armada for 33 years, were you aware when that trail, I guess, was a railroad?
Yes, sir.
And were you aware when that trail was just simply a trail but hadn't been paved?
Yes.
And you, of course, then are aware of the trail as it's paved.
Yes.
Did you use that trail, I guess, often?
Yes.
And did you use that trail, I guess, in the summer of 2014?
Yes.
Let's take you directly to July 24th of 2014. Did you and your daughter go riding on the trail?
Yes, we did.
Okay. If we could put up 33, I'm going to ask you to step down. I'm going to ask you to stand right here. Again, keep your voice loud. Did I steal? Oh, there it is. Just take a look at it for a second. Familiarize yourself with it. Does it look familiar to you?
Yes, it does.
Keep your voice up. I do apologize. I'm just having it look that way for just a second. Now I'm going to face you this way.
Okay.
All right, so you can talk to the jury and hold the pointer. I'm going to stand off to the side so that Mr. Sheik can see what we're talking about. On this map here, if you're coming over there, Mr. Sheik, then please stand in the corner.
I will, sir. Thank you.
All right? And I'll move around. Would you point out where your house is?
My home is up in this area here.
Okay, keep your voice up.
Yes, it's up in this area here.
And where would you show us where the trail is, just so you have an idea, you know where the trail is?
The trail is right here.
All right, what path did you, approximately what time did you said you got home normally about 4:30. Did you get home about 4:30 on that day?
I had worked a little longer that day. I got home, probably about 5:45 but between 5:30 and 6 came home.
Did you get on the trail? Did you and your daughter go for a ride?
Yes, we did.
We've seen the bikes, so you and your daughter, I understand, went somewhere first before the trail. Where did you go?
We went to the Maritime gas station.
Which is where?
Okay, right here.
All
Let's
right.
see.
Is it up on Main Street?
Oh, Main Street. Where's Main Street?
Main is
Yeah, way up here. Okay,
Okay.
I'm sorry. Bigger
All right.
line.
I don't live there, but
Right here.
I've gotten to know Armada real well. So the gas station is up at the top.
That's right here. I'm sorry.
We're glad that your daughter testified first. What path did you take down to the trail?
Okay, we came right up Main, and we stopped at the gas station, and then we headed down Church to Depot Street, and there's like a little gravel parking lot, and that's where we got into the trail.
As you're on the trail, if you would, who's in front and who's in back? On the trail as you're riding.
I was in the front.
About how far in front of your daughter were you?
Probably 3 bicycle lengths or more, give or take.
Would you describe the pace that you're riding at?
At first I was going a little faster, and then I slowed down a little bit. I often do that. Not just casual.
Casual?
Yeah, it's, not a fast bike, so.
Did there come a point in time where you came across a young girl and her dog?
Yes.
Would you point out on the path there where that would have been?
Up in this area.
Okay, keep your voice up.
Up in this area right in here.
So just for the record, we've jumped ahead a little bit. You're headed east on the Orchard Lake Trail toward Omo Road,
Correct, yes.
and you're giving a direction that's a little bit east of the, what we call, what the Liberty Road is and the Liberty Path?
Liberty Road, yes, I'm
Okay.
familiar with that.
Right. And you've been in the area a long time. You know what that little Liberty Trail is off
Yes.
that subdivision onto the path?
Yes,
Okay, and my guess in your years there, then you know about this little lake here and the farm area and all that sort of stuff.
yes, this is the gravel pits, which it was at one time, which now there's homes there. And this was just a small lane. Well, actually, there wasn't houses back there. Then they built homes back there. And it used to be a retention pond. And then that's how it got the Liberty Lane is what they put in later. So, yeah, that's what's there. And it was just like in this area, in here.
All right, so you're what we would call east of Liberty Lane.
Yes, I was walking, we were riding east.
If I were to show you a picture of the young lady, would you recognize her?
Yes,
All right, if you would put up exhibit number 1, please.
yes,
All right, that's exhibit number 1. Is that the young lady that you saw on the path that day?
yes, it did.
And is that the young lady you've come to know as April Millsap?
Yes,
Okay. I'm going to also then show you people's exhibit number 4, which is a photograph of a dog, and ask if you recognize that.
yes,
Okay. And is that then the dog that you saw that day also?
yes.
Okay. Now, I'm going to have you have a seat again, if you would. There's some Kleenex in the little package right there. If you need a break or if you need some water, let us know. We will attend to whatever is necessary.
Okay, I'm fine.
Would you describe what you saw to the jury when you first came upon the young lady?
Ride my bicycle. She was walking west, on the south side of the trail, heading west. I was heading east.
So she was coming toward you?
She was coming towards me, yes.
And the dog, was the dog on a leash?
Yes, on a leash.
We know that the path is approximately 10 feet wide or so. Where were you on that path?
10 feet, I was heading east, and I was on the north side of the trail, and she was heading west, and she was on the south side of the trail, and then she crossed over.
All right, so more or less, if we were pretending that that was a traffic lane, you were driving European style on the wrong side, and she was on the right-hand side walking toward you.
Right.
How close did you get to her before she crossed, I guess, to the north side of the trail?
I saw her coming in the distance, and she was looking down at her phone, or whatever she was looking at. She was looking down. And I guess I assumed it was a phone, but she was looking down. And she was walking her dog, and my first thought was, is the dog friendly? And then it was just maybe a minute, not much longer, and she crossed over to the north side. So she was on the same side of the trail as I was, and I was heading east.
And what did you do when she crossed over?
Well, I looked at her and I said hello, and I said, nice dog, and she smiled and replied, said yes. Thank you very much.
Okay. Did it appear to you that she was under pressure when you saw her?
I didn't notice that.
Okay.
No.
Did she ask for help in any way?
No.
Did she make any effort to stop you or to do anything more than just simply respond to your hello?
No. She just responded to my hello.
The dog, did the dog make any effort to, I guess, get away from her, chase your bike or chase your tires or anything like that?
No, not at all. Very friendly dog.
How often did you ride that trail in the last 5 or 6 years, I guess?
Oh, gosh, often.
Did you ever recall seeing a motorcycle on that trail before that day?
Never.
Can you describe for me how April was dressed?
It was a very warm summer day. She had I believe, I remember, a light colored t-shirt on. You know, like a normal young girl.
Did you see a motorcycle on the trail that day?
Yes, I did.
And approximately, I'm going to have to, if you would put 33 back up, it'll be just very quick. Come on down.
Okay.
Just like to have the jury, just point, use the pointer, and point to the jury where it was you saw the motorcycle as you were heading east?
As I was heading east, okay. It was right about in,
Okay, can you see that intersection?
Yes, thank you.
right about in this approximate area
Okay.
here. It's just past the clearing of the woods here. And so it used to be clearer there, and you could see this, but it's got more brush there. So it was more brush than trees. It was right in this area, right here.
So what you're saying is this part of the trail is brushed with clearing behind it, and then we've heard the term tunnel of trees once you get
Yes,
past that area?
Exactly.
Do you know where the electric lines cross the trail?
Approximately here.
Okay, so is that in the general area then where you saw the bike the first time?
Yes.
All right, if you could have a seat, take it down. Thank you, Craig. Would you describe for the jury how it was that you first saw the motorcycle?
Well, we were just riding our bicycles, and I was still on the north side of the trail, and the motorcycle was just sitting there, and I got over to the south side to get out of the way because it was just sitting there, not moving at all.
Now, would you describe what the person on the motorcycle was, how they were dressed?
Yes, that alerted me. I thought it was odd.
Okay, you're saying is the dress odd or seeing a motorcycle on the trail odd?
Both.
Had you ever seen a motorcycle before? I don't know if I asked that. I
Yes.
apologize if I did ask that question before. Had you ever seen one before?
No, I've never seen a motorcycle on the trail.
Okay. And now, as you're headed east, is the motorcycle on the right or the left?
It is on the left, on the north side.
What direction does the bike itself face?
At that time,
Correct.
okay, it was facing west.
Which means it was facing...
Oh, I'm sorry, it was facing, yes, it was facing west,
So it was-
towards North Avenue.
All right, so it was facing you as you were coming
Right.
toward it.
I was riding my bicycle, and it was like the front end of it was looking at me, yes.
Okay. You're going like this.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Like this?
Yeah, I'm getting you confused.
How far away from it, if this is approximately, just using this as a base, from here to the back wall is about 45 feet, using that as a base, was it shorter or longer than that when you first saw the bike, the motorcycle?
It was probably at least that far away, all the way to the back wall, that I saw it in the distance.
Does the bike make any movement or maneuvers at that time?
No, not that I saw.
Now, you've indicated that it was odd. One of the reasons was a motorcycle on the trail. What's the other reason?
The dress. the
How
clothing.
is the individual dressed?
They have a helmet on with a full face shield, a helmet with the shield on it. It appeared to be a black jacket. Couldn't tell if it was leather. It was a heavy jacket. I remember gloves. Definitely not dressed for a warm July day at all.
And that's what sticks out in your mind?
Yes.
Do normally people on the trail dress in a certain way when they're walking or exercising?
Well, yes, you dress appropriate for the weather.
Was this person on the motorcycle, in your opinion, dressed appropriate for the weather?
Not at all.
How does that make you feel now when you see that, you see the dress, you see the motorcycle, and you're approaching? How are you feeling?
Well, I was alerted because, number one, I right away knew there shouldn't be a motorcycle on the trail. And I also thought it odd that someone was completely covered. And why is this person on the trail completely covered? You couldn't see their face at all.
What happens as you approach? Let me put it this way, does the bike move at all?
No.
As you're there?
No, it's just sitting there. He's just sitting on it, just sitting there.
Now, how far... So let me stay with the clothing description. Can you give me a color of the pants?
I believe them to be a dark color.
Do you know the type of shoes?
They were high tops.
And if they were white, black, red, yellow, blue, orange?
I can't say for certain. I was staring at the helmet as I'm driving by, intensely looking to see if I could see anything. I couldn't see.
But you did see high-top shoes?
I saw the high top shoes, yes. I did. It's kind of in slow motion memory for me because I was really paying attention because I was alerted because it was odd.
Do you make any motions or any laudatory movements at the person as you drive past?
No, I turned to look back as I'm going because I didn't have any mirrors on my bike.
What did you see when you turned around to look back?
He was just still sitting there motionless. I saw appeared to be a blue plate, possibly. I was trying to look at the license plate, but
Okay.
I can't remember.
How far behind you is your daughter?
Well, I don't have mirrors, so I don't know.
Okay.
She was a little bit further behind me.
How far was the young lady that you saw, April, from the person on the trail on that motorcycle that you've just described? If we're using this as 45 feet or so,
Yeah. She would have been, I would have encountered her previous to
Right.
that. And I don't know how fast she was walking, but she would have been quite a ways further down the trail, heading towards the granary. Yes.
so they're not close at all from what you're seeing?
He would have, or he or she or whoever it was.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's just get distance. Did you see the two of them interact?
No.
And there was a significant distance between where you saw the bike and where you saw April walk?
There was a significant distance, yes.
What happens after you pass the let me put it this way. Do you see that motorcycle again as you're heading east after you pass the motorcycle?
Do I see it again?
Correct.
At that point, as I'm heading east?
As you're heading east towards Elmo.
As I'm heading east towards Elmo, no, at that point, no.
Do you ever see the motorcycle in operation?
I did not.
How far down the path do you go as you're riding?
I headed towards Olmo Road, crossed the road, went just a little ways down the road, and my legs started to ache, so I stopped and asked my daughter if she'd like to turn around. I was ready to go, and so we turned around.
Now you turn around and you're heading back on the trail. Approximately what time are you heading back? Do you know? Did you have an app tracker yourself or a sport app?
No, not at all.
Did you have your phone with you?
No,
Were you wearing a watch?
no.
Do you have any, I guess, approximate time when it was that you encountered the young lady or the gentleman on the motorcycle?
Yes. I left my home shortly after 6, and then I had to stop and get air in my tires. So I didn't get on the trail. Probably, it was 6:15 or later before I even got on the trail, right around in that time.
The motorcycle that you saw, do you have any familiarities with motorcycles?
Yeah, somewhat. I have family and friends that own motorcycles.
Do you know the difference between what we would call a street bike and a dirt bike?
Yes.
The type of bike that you saw on the trail, can you give a description of it to the jury?
Yes, it was a standard bike, but it looked more like a dirt bike to me. that type of a bike, not,
Sometimes I would say a dirt bike might be a conclusion. Could you give some of the physical description which would have you come to that conclusion
Yeah.
of it being a dirt bike?
the tires, the way the rim is set up above the tires a little bit. It was black. I remember seeing black and chrome.
But you would say it was an off-road bike of some type?
I think it would be a bike that you would be more off-road, but you could probably ride it either or.
It wasn't a Harley?
No, definitely not a Harley.
Was it a crotch rocket?
No.
You know what a crotch rocket is? in terms of
Yeah, don't you have to
motorcycle?
lean forward and,
Yeah.
yeah, no.
Did you see that bike on the way back?
Yes.
Did you see the person on that bike on the way back?
No.
You've indicated there where you saw the bike, as you were headed east. If I could ask you to come back down, if you would put 33 up again. On the way back, you indicate that you saw the bike. Where on this map do you see that bike?
On the way back.
On the way back.
This area somewhere is parked on
Keep
the,
your voice up.
it's in this area, parked on the south side of the trail.
Okay, so you can have a seat. When you indicate the south side of the trail, then, we know that there's a shoulder at that point on the trail, and we know that there is a paved trail. Would you describe to the jury exactly on the south side where it was parked and what direction it was facing?
It was parked on the shoulder on the south side, and it, now what else, I'm sorry, could you repeat
What
that again?
direction was it facing this time?
It was facing west.
So it was facing toward the granary?
Yes,
It was facing in the direction that you were headed.
yes.
Did you see anybody around the bike?
No, and I was looking.
Did you see a helmet on the bike?
I did not see a helmet.
When you ride past the bike this time and the bike is there by itself, do you say anything to Amy?
When I tried to say something to Amy, I was riding my bike, and I turned and I don't know if she heard me, but I'm like, where's the guy on the bike? Do you see the guy on the bike?
Do you
And
hear?
I'm looking because I'm wondering, where did this person go?
Are you wondering just out of curiosity? Are you wondering out of fear? How are you wondering?
I'm just wondering what they're up to. You know, what are they doing on the trail number one? And they just saw them, and then all of a sudden, there's the bike and there's no person.
Approximately
Yeah, curiosity.
approximately how long was it between the time that you passed the bike the first time on the trail and then passed the bike headed west on the way back home?
It'd be a guess, maybe 8 to 10 minutes, maybe where we went across and turned around,
So you
maybe a
didn't-
little more.
You
But
didn't
maybe
go
8 minutes.
You didn't go down to Pit Road?
No.
You didn't go
no.
down to the gazebo in Richmond?
Absolutely not, no. That's quite a ways.
So just past Omo is a bridge. You indicate you turned around at the bridge and headed back.
Just a little bit beyond that, yes.
Now, as you're heading west, the bike is on your left-hand side.
Yes.
You indicate that you're looking around. Would you tell the jury, I guess, where you're looking around? What is it that you're looking at?
Okay, I had, when Amy kind of caught up with me a little bit, or so I thought she could hear me. I'm not sure if she heard me, but I'm like, I'm going to look to the south, you look to the north. That's what I had stated. I didn't see anything. I had slowed down and I was really looking, and I didn't see anything on the south side.
And that's what you were looking at, south side?
Yes.
You never looked then to the right side?
I occasionally glimpsed that way, but I was focusing more on the south side.
And other than seeing the bike on the way back, you did not see any other activity on the way back?
The man in the yellow shirt,
Okay. You saw a man in the yellow shirt, where would that have been?
he had went by, again, real quickly,
Had you seen him going the opposite direction the first time?
yes. He had passed me both ways,
Okay.
going in opposite directions, yes.
In this time period, I guess, just right around when you're heading west and you see the bike, do you see anybody else?
I saw a couple with a child on bicycles.
Did you see the dog again?
Did I see the dog on the
The
way
dog,
home,
yeah,
on
the
the way
dog.
back heading west?
Okay, you didn't?
No, I
Okay.
did not.
And you didn't see the young lady either, that you had seen headed that direction?
No, I did not.
At some point in time, did you become aware that Amy had seen something?
Yes.
About where was that on the path? How far past the bike was that you became aware she'd seen something?
Well, we were getting towards a little bit past the wooded area, and we were in the wooded area, but I waited for her to catch up with me because I was ahead of her. So I stopped. And I said, well,
And what did she say?
and she wanted to keep going.
Did you say to her that you wanted to go back and look?
Yes, I did.
Did you go back and look?
No, I did not. She said to me to keep going.
And you kept going?
Yeah, she did say that she saw something and that I should go.
Did you call the police that evening?
No.
How did you learn about the murder on Orchard Lake Trail? I mean, Macomb Orchard Trail.
Well, I went to work the next day, and when I came home, there was police everywhere in town. And I went home, and my daughter happened to be there, and I said, what's going on? And she said, you know that girl that you saw yesterday? I said, yeah. She said she was murdered.
Did you
So
speak
it's
to the
like-
police that day, that Friday then?
Yes, I did. I went up immediately.
You went to the, did you go to the trail or directly to the police department?
Directly to the police department.
Did you make a statement at that time, or did they come back to interview you at a later time?
I talked to an officer, and then he said someone's going to want to hear what she has to say. And then they said they would be sending someone over to my home to speak to me because there was media everywhere. And I was trying to avoid the media.
Did they come speak to you then, at some point at your home?
Yes, they did.
Would it be safe to say you would be unable to identify the person that you saw on the motorcycle that day?
Yeah, say that again, please.
Would it be safe to say that you would be unable to identify the person you saw on that motorcycle that day?
That would be safe to say.
Thank you, Gail. Mr. Sheik, I have some questions for you.
Okay.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
give it to me.
Just going to ask you a few brief questions just to make sure that I've got some things right, okay?
Okay.
You were not in a position to identify the person you saw on the trail, correct?
No.
Okay. And as far as the motorcycle, I believe you said you thought that the color of it was black?
That's what I remember, yes.
Okay. And the license plate you looked at and you thought that it was blue?
I just thought I saw some blue when I looked back.
Okay.
Yes.
And if you remember, was it blue and white, the plate?
I don't remember specifically, no.
Okay. Are you even sure that that rider that you on that bike was a male or female, or you wouldn't even venture to guess as to the gender?
I would not be able to, there was a full face shield, but I did see a leg.
You did see a leg?
A leg was exposed, so I knew that it was a white person.
Okay.
And leg, yeah.
So just one leg was exposed?
Yeah, because it was the only side I saw, because his feet were flat on the ground, so I only saw that one side as I rode by.
So how was the leg exposed? Was the person wearing shorts?
I have no idea, I just know that part of the leg was showing.
Do you remember if it was the person's left or right leg, if you remember?
Well, I was on the south side of the trail,
Okay.
and they were sitting on the bike facing west, so it would be the leg that was exposed on that side.
Okay. Now you said you saw a gentleman in a yellow shirt passing both ways, correct?
Correct.
And you also indicated you thought you saw a couple, and the couple had a child with them, or no child?
There was a child with them.
Was a child on one of their bikes, if you remember?
I believe they were on bikes, yes. It was when I was almost home, yeah.
Thank you for your time, Mrs. Spinelli.
Okay.
No, Your Honor.
Thank you, ma'am. You were excused.
I would indicate, Your Honor, it's on the people this time. I'd scheduled witnesses up to about 5 o'clock, and she was the last witness that I had. I don't have another witness if the court wishes to start another.
See you tomorrow at 11, folks. Please don't read, listen to, watch, and know the rules.
All right for the jury.
Have a safe night.
Okay.